What's going on, everybody? Z here. Welcome back. So we've got a Dune update, a Dune Awakening update. I have been away from this game for a while now, but we used to talk about it. We used to make videos on it. We used to talk about updates and stuff like that. And there's a huge update coming out that they just released. They didn't release it. They talked about it. It's an upcoming update. And it's really exciting for people like me and the way that I play. There are going to be some people that are upset. There's going to be. You just watch. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let's read through. We've got a developer update, April 2026. Actually, you know what? TLDR, the PvE versus PvP thing, guess what? They're making a PvE desert, completely PvE. They're getting rid of all the PvP in the Haga Basin. So all of the shipwrecks that had the PvP scenarios in it, all gone. They're not gonna do those on official servers. So they will have PvP deep desert areas. So you'll be able to choose between the two. But most people were PvEers. Most people wanted the PvE experience. Most people did not want to be forced into the PvP scenarios, with most of the game being PvE, like the first, 50, 60 hours, just to immediately throw you into PvP combat. A lot of people didn't like that, myself included. I'm just not a PvPer. I suck. I'm not good at it. If people want a PvP, I want them to do that. I want them to be able to play, but they shouldn't force people to do it, because that's not how that works. Both people should want to do the thing. If one person doesn't and one person does, it's not usually how things work out. So let's talk about this. I'm excited. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful day. Again, leave a like, subscribe, all the fun things. This is over on their X profile. This is from Dune on X. If you guys are interested, you can follow me over there too. I post stuff there all the time. Greetings, sleepers. It's time for us to look, our next look behind the curtain. I'm gonna skip around here a little bit because we're not gonna just go over everything. But full gameplay experience and a rework of PvP, PvE, and interact in Dune Awakening. How those two interact with each other. Balancing priorities. From our very first closed beta weekend, player feedback has been instrumental in shaping the game. They sent out multiple feedback forms, and I'm sure that they have seen the amount of people that wanted a PvE thing. I know their Discord was always back and forth, PvP versus PvE. It was always, it's the biggest thing about Dune. We strive to iterate quickly, but game development is rarely linear, and our resources must constantly be balanced between polishing existing content, responding to live situations, and preparing the console launch, and developing new features or content. Adjusting the scope and timing of content releases to match what our team can realistically deliver is an important part of the process. This year, you'll see a series of features aimed at giving you more ways to customize your experience on Arrakis. Some of these will arrive early on the public test client, giving us room to refine them based on your feedback. A few changes are planned to land with patch 1320-0, starting with a major shift in how conflict in the deep desert is handled. So, PvE first open world survival. We've always envisioned Arrakis as a tense place where players must master the desert to survive the scorching sun, lack of water, ever-persistent Sha'alud, and other hazards. We also want Dune Awakening to feel like a triumph of your own making. Players should have the agency to tailor their experience and gravitate toward others with similar motivations, coexisting within the community. Dune Awakening offers a variety of playstyles. However, with over 80% of our lifetime players exclusively engaging with PvE content, the convergence of PvE, and PvP, particularly in the deep desert, didn't align with our objectives and remained a significant topic of discussion. So that right there is them saying that over 80% of their lifetime players exclusively only did PvE stuff. Now, I don't know how they're checking this. I don't know if they're going off of surveys. I don't know if they're going off of like Steam achievements and stuff like that. There was at one point, there was a Steam achievement where, like, going to the deep desert for the first time, a very small percentage have actually done that. Now, that was early on. I don't know what it is right now. I could probably go and look, but I know that was like a metric that they could see as well. So it's not surprising to me that most people were playing PvE, considering most of the game was PvE. Combining our goals, the in-game data, and the results of player surveys made it clear that we needed to rethink our approach and underline the PvE first nature of the game. While PvP conflict is an important aspect of Dune Awakening, for some, it must be optional and incentivized rather than required for progression. This right here is exactly what myself and everybody was saying. I have never wanted to get rid of PvP. I've wanted an option for people to play how they want. And in a game where you start off and you play the majority of the game is in a PvE fashion, I think it was not the correct move to force the end game to be PvP. There should be a PvP aspect. There should have their separate wards. They should have all their own stuff for sure. Absolutely. I don't want to take that away. But I'm not going to fall into this whole thing where people are like, oh, well, this is going to ruin the game because now PvPers are going to have to fight other PvPers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not an argument to be made there. If you want PvP, go play PvP by all means. The problem is that the PvPers that are complaining are typically the people that wanted to fight against people that didn't want to. They wanted those easy kills. They wanted just, you know, the looting, the griefing, whatever you want to call it. That's what they wanted. That's what people, because if you want an actual fight, you wouldn't want to fight people that don't want to fight you. That's not what people do, you know? So I know there's going to be a lot of PvPers out there that are going to be like, oh, I don't like this. It's good. Well, it's not ruining anything. You're just going to have to fight people that want to actually fight you. So while PvP conflict is an important aspect of Dune Awakening for some, it must be optional, incentivized, rather than required for progression. Now, another hot topic was that, oh, well, the final tier stuff was the PvP stuff. It's like, well, it wasn't, because like that was like the sand tractor and the like the giant carry ornithopter. Those aren't PvP. You're not using the spice harvester for PvP content. You're using it to harvest the spice, which is the game. That's the player versus the environment. You're going against the giant sandworms. That's player versus environment. Those aren't to me, those aren't exclusively PvP. Weapons, armor, things like that, skins, color badges, whatever. That stuff I could understand PvP, things that help you in a PvP environment. But like stuff like that, that doesn't make sense. And I feel like a lot of people felt that way too. So now if you disagree, leave a comment. I will happily discuss and talk. But yeah. So new repeatable gameplay loops in chapter 3 have alleviated some of these concerns. These new features include specializations, reworked Landsrad missions, and faction rank progression, and new scalable testing stations, which actually was kind of cool. Like some of this stuff was actually really cool. I played the day that chapter 3 was available. We live streamed it. It was a fun time. And then unfortunately something else came out and I started playing that immediately afterwards. So I hopped back in intending to play, but then something else came out. We checked that out, you know, stuff like that. So to further emphasize our PvE first approach, here's the big ones. These are the big guns. We are making the following changes in patch 1.3.20.0. All PvP zones in Haga Basin will be disabled across all official worlds. Those were the wrecks. Those were your, you had to go to those wrecks to usually get the, I believe it was the green items. And that's also where there was, you know, enemies within those environments that were, you know, environmental enemies and stuff like that. So they were also PvP. So if you went over there and somebody else went over there, then you just weren't going to have a good time, because like if they PvP'd you, then you would lose. There was one in the game that wasn't, and that was the one most people used. Or if you had a group of people, you would just go over, run this stuff real quick and then leave. Because again, people grouped up because they didn't want to PvP. They didn't group up to PvP. They grouped up because they didn't want to, and they needed numbers to protect themselves against, you know, some of these other players. Because, and again, I have no issue with that. If you want to PvP, by all means, I want you to have the option to do it, and I want you to have the option to have fun how you want, just like I want everybody to have the option of how they want to have fun. So, all official worlds will now have separate deep desert instances you can choose from. I said this from the very beginning. I was like, the easiest option, the easiest thing is if they just gave us 2 deep deserts. And I was like, they'll never do that. I was like, they'll never do that because they just won't. 2 deep deserts, perfect. A PvE instance for pure survival and exploration experience with no player combat. There is no PvP in this instance across any of the roads, including shipwrecks. That is what people wanted. Personally, I wanted to take out the sand harvester, the sand tractor, and I wanted to go and fly out and harvest sand, and I wanted to worry about the worm. You know, I wanted to worry about the environment attacking us. And like that to me is fun. If I lose something because of the environment, because of that, like that's one thing. But if I lose it to people who are just there to lose it just because they just want to, you know, that's not fun to me. And then like when you rebuild and go out there again and it just happens again and again and again, it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing you can really do in that situation. So I'm super excited for this. And then there will also be a PvP instance with the classic high stakes environment and open world conflict across rows B through I to make sure the rewards match the risk, the yield from mining spice, and spice harvesting will be multiplied by 2.5 in PvP areas. Fantastic. By all means, have fun. I don't care if I'm making less on a PvE server. That's fine. If I can just spend time there, go out, chill, have fun with my friends, that's all I want. You guys, if you want that, you want the high risk, go get it. Go get it, by all means. I'm so excited for this. Now, by separating these experiences, we allow players to hunt for spice or explore Imperial testing stations without the constant threat of a blade in the dark, while ensuring those who live for the thrill of the hunt have a dedicated arena to prove their mettle and the rewards to make it worthwhile. Awesome. That's awesome. That's so good. Now, self-hosted servers are coming. So I believe, I didn't look into self-hosting. I didn't look into custom servers a whole lot, but I believe until this, you could only rent servers through people. I don't think you could self-host a server because how it worked is like a server hosting company, I believe. You could have your own server, your Haga Basin. However, they still shared a deep desert. So like 16 servers, 16 Haga Basins or 20 Haga Basins, I can't remember. They would all still share one deep desert, and the deep desert was still like its own thing, and you couldn't adjust the parameters of the deep desert. So that was always a thing. We are thrilled to announce that self-hosting is coming to Dune Awakening. Whether you want to host a private server for friends or foster a community with unique rules, the power is moving into your hands. The initial iteration, which will be available for testing soon, will require a few extra steps to set up and feature a limited range of customization settings. These settings will include resource harvesting rates, adjustable limits on base building pieces, or item durability and base decay options, with more customization settings being rolled out later. All these customization options will be available on private servers right from the start. We're releasing it early to get feedback on this experimental version and improve it alongside you. More features and improvements will be added throughout the year. Now, full instructions on how to set up and customize self-hosted servers will be included in the patch notes when the feature becomes available. Please be advised that initial setup for this first iteration of the feature is more technical than most other games and requires a computer running Microsoft Windows Pro with Hyper-V. Okay, all this stuff. So there you go. We are, of course, still working on future updates. The goal is to work on improving these customization tools along with those releases, but we will talk about that in Dune time. I like that. I like puns. We are excited to continue crafting a survival experience that can stand the test of time in the new era of Dune Awakening. Now, let me see. I didn't see anything. Will self-hosting always work like this? I didn't see anything specifically talking about the deep desert. So I'm curious as to whether that is going to, I mean, if it's self-hosted server, I would imagine the deep desert is part of that self-hosting. So I would imagine, I don't know. I could be wrong. So yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm very excited for this. I'm actually kind of interested in the self-hosted server now, but I don't know. I'm going to keep playing on my main server. Are you guys going to be checking out Dune Awakening with this update? I don't know when this update's going to come out. This is a future update, and it said it was 1.3.20. So I don't know when this update will be out, but it is coming. It is exciting, and I'm excited for it. This is what I wanted since the beginning. I'm hoping that with this update, maybe we'll see some returning players. Personally, I fully enjoyed Dune Awakening. I had a lot of fun the first 50, 60 hours that I played it. I had a lot of fun. It was a really good time. And we played it over the course of the updates. We played it, you know, once they allowed Plastanium. I'm confusing Subnautica right now. I'm sorry. We just got done playing a whole Subnautica series. And I think it was Plastanium. I think it's Plastanium in Dune. Plastanium. Once they added that into the Titanium, into the PvE side of the deep desert, we hopped back in, had a blast with that. It was a lot of fun. We got a carrier built. Actually, you know what's funny is we got the carrier built, and then a couple other people we were playing in our guild actually got the sand harvester built. I've actually never even seen the thing. So yeah, we're gonna be hopping back in. I'm gonna be checking it out. I'm very excited for this. I'm looking forward to this update. Also, if you're curious, if you stayed till the end, leave a like on the video. I appreciate it. You're awesome. It might even give you good luck in the future. It might not. I don't know, but it couldn't hurt, right? If you are returning and you're thinking about returning, there is some stuff that if you're a returning player that hasn't played for 30 days or more, that they give you based on your level, I believe it is, to help you speed up and get back to where you were, because they have since changed. Taxes are no longer a thing. I believe they've also changed like some of the base power and stuff like that with how that works. So if you're getting back into the server, if you're getting back into your game and you log in, your base is gone. It probably will be. If you haven't played since the very beginning, it's going to be gone. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, I don't like that, but it is what it is. They've changed it since then. You should get like a little welcome package that has a bunch of stuff that can help you get a base built pretty quickly, get your stuff back up and running, and then get you back in the game. So very exciting stuff there. Also, they added the ability to like basically pocket your base. So I don't know if people were playing once human, basically you could like just move your whole base, or like after 2 weeks, your base would just despawn and then you could just replace it. Boom, everything would be back. As far as I know, that's exactly how this works. Now you can like have like the little Solito repeater thing that you use to pop out your little scout ornithopter or your sand bike. You could do the same thing with the base now. So if you're going to be hopping off for a couple weeks, boop, just pocket that base. You're good. So very cool stuff. But thanks again for coming out. Have a wonderful day. Leave a comment. Let me know. Are you going to be playing Dune Awakening again? I'm excited for it. I'm excited. It says April 2026. I don't know when it's actually going to hit. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.